My name is Duco. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the Queen Mary University of London, and we study specialized pro-resolving mediators, which are signaling molecules, and how these signaling molecules affect the human immune system.
I'm Jesmond Dudley. I'm a professor in molecular pharmacology at Queen Mary University of London, and my interests are in understanding the mechanisms, that is, how the body deals with inflammation and resolves or terminates this. And the idea there is that so that we can learn how to better develop new treatments to treat diseases where inflammation becomes disrupted.
So a helpathon is like a supercharged version of your regular run-of-the-mill scientific workshop. So a helpathon takes place over multiple days, and you can invite very many different interest groups to answer a central scientific problem that you want answered. So for example, you can invite not just your scientific peers and colleagues, but also other stakeholders such as funding body representatives and pharmaceutical company representatives and medical doctors and patients to all contribute to the solution. And by bringing together such a diverse group of people, a helpathon aims to generate creative new approach methodologies to answer the central scientific problem.
The problem that we're seeking help for in this helpathon is to develop new models that represent the joint that we can then use to understand what happens in patients with rheumatoid arthritis, and this will then also be helpful to us to be able to test and develop new treatments to treat this inflammation and the progressive joint destruction that happens in patients with arthritis.
In our lab, we routinely study immune cells that we gather from small samples of patient blood. And these samples are very informative in how different human diseases can affect immune cell functioning, specifically immune cells in the circulation. But it doesn't necessarily tell us how these immune cells would behave within a diseased tissue. So what we're really interested in developing is better laboratory models of human disease. So for example, inflamed knee joints or inflamed bone marrow, and how we can model that in the lab, and in that way study how our specialized pro-resolving mediator signaling molecules, how they behave in their natural environment, so to say.
Helpathons are open to a broad range of stakeholders, individuals with scientific background, but also individuals with regulatory background, and those from the general public who have an interest in supporting the development of new approaches.
So I think helpathons are really important in not just promoting science to a broader audience and seeing how science is done. For example, patients can really see scientists at work, but they also promote a more creative way of approaching the problems that we run into in the lab. And we might sometimes get a bit too much of a tunnel vision, so it's nice to have some outside ideas from time to time.
I believe helpathons are extremely important because they help us as basic scientists to look at a question in a fresh perspective by bringing together people with diverse expertise and also diverse perspectives on the same question. And this might open new avenues to deal with a problem that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to think about.